The film begins at a ferry port in Sweden. Tina works as a security officer at the passenger arrival gate, observing and checking each arriving passenger. Suddenly, her sense of smell starts to react, detecting something suspicious about one of the male passengers. The man is then asked to stop for inspection. In the examination room, Tina's colleague checks all the man's belongings but finds nothing suspicious. However, Tina still smells something suspicious and asks to inspect the man's smartphone. Reluctantly, the man hands over his phone. Thanks to her extraordinary sense of smell, when checking the phone behind the soft case, Tina finds a memory card. Unexpectedly, the man snatches the memory card found by Tina and tries to chew it, intending to destroy the evidence. Fortunately, Tina's colleagues manage to retrieve the memory card and immediately call the police. Tina continues her work. Not long after, her sense of smell reacts again, and she stops a man suspected for inspection. Physically, the passenger looks similar to Tina. Then Tina checks his belongings and finds a suspicious object. When asked about the suspicious item, the man challenges Tina to guess what it is. It turns out to be a device for hatching insect larvae. The man then guesses that Tina also likes insects. Tina becomes puzzled and a bit nervous because she feels nothing suspicious. Tina allows the mysterious man to continue his journey. In her free time, Tina always makes time to visit her father in the nursing home, who is suffering from dementia. The next day, Tina meets Agneta, a female police officer handling the case of the memory card evidence that Tina found. Agneta is amazed by Tina's olfactory talent, which can detect crime without having to open the memory card. The police are developing the case but are facing difficulties, so they ask for Tina's help to solve it. Tina agrees to their offer. On another day on the ferry, a man previously inspected by Tina is seen. Upon arrival at the dock, without being asked, the mysterious man immediately places his bag for inspection. Eventually, the mysterious man is taken to the examination room. Tina's colleague conducts the inspection but finds nothing suspicious. However, Tina still smells something suspicious. Finally, Tina's colleague asks the man to enter a special room for a more intensive examination. Meanwhile, Tina notices something odd about the man's analog watch, which has no hands. The colleague who conducted the examination comes out feeling embarrassed. The colleague says that Tina should have done the examination because the passenger has dual gender, but predominantly female characteristics, and has a scar on his tailbone. Upon learning this, Tina is shocked because she also has the same physical anomaly as the passenger. Eventually, Tina approaches the mysterious passenger to apologize and is willing to be sued by him, but the passenger forgives Tina. They introduce themselves personally. The passenger's name is Vor, and he is temporarily staying at an inn near the port. Tina is curious about why she has the same physical oddity as Vor. After work, Tina goes to the nursing home where her father lives to ask about the scar on her tailbone, but she doesn't get a satisfactory answer because her father has dementia. Coming from the nursing home, in the middle of the journey, suddenly her neighbor asks for help to be taken to the hospital because his wife is going to give birth. Tina takes them to the hospital, full of curiosity. The next day, Tina dares to visit where Vor is staying. They meet and have a casual chat because Vor's place of stay is not very comfortable. Tina invites Vor to stay at her house. Once home, Tina sees that Roland and his pet do not like Vor much. Then Tina shows the room to Vor. Vor immediately goes to the fridge to make sure it works, then asks about the birthmark on Tina's cheekbone. It turns out Vor has the same thing on his shoulder, then asks Tina to touch it. The touch makes them more connected. Unexpectedly, Vor kisses Tina, making her nervous. The next day, with a police officer, Tina goes to an apartment suspected of being a place of child abuse, like the content of the memory card found by Tina. Through her sense of smell, Tina suspects a man who arrives, then follows him to an apartment door. The apartment's residents catch Tina and her police colleague. They get into a small argument, avoiding a worse commotion. Her colleague calms Tina down and chooses to leave so their surveillance is not discovered. Tina and her colleague report to Agneta that they heard a baby's voice and believe that it is the place they are looking for. After checking, the baby in the apartment room is not registered anywhere. Another time, Tina visits her neighbor to see the baby, where Tina was the one who took her to the hospital when the baby was born. Suddenly, Vor comes over with the excuse of borrowing a pot. Vor seems to like the baby very much. After getting the pot, Vor goes back into the house and something strange happens. Vor groans in pain. Unexpectedly, it turns out Vor is giving birth, which is very strange. The next day, Tina and her police colleague go back to the suspected apartment to investigate. After surveillance, the suspected apartment's resident finally leaves to go to a bar. Not wanting to miss the opportunity, they quickly enter quietly and search the apartment. Using her abilities, Tina suspects a trophy in the closet, then takes it to check. Sure enough, inside the trophy is a handycam containing videos of child abuse, exactly what Tina found earlier. With this evidence, Patrick, the apartment's resident and owner of the handycam, is finally examined and interrogated by the police. After the interrogation was finished, Tina was taken home by Agneta. Meanwhile at home, Roland continued to suspect Vor of acting strangely and noticed Vor hiding something in the fridge. The next day, Roland left to participate in his beloved dog's competition, leaving only Tina and Vor at home. Soon after, a rainstorm accompanied by thunder began, and they were so frightened by the thunder that they hugged each other under the table. When the rain subsided, they went to the forest behind Tina's house. It turned out they liked each other and got carried away by the moment, eventually making love in the forest. However, it was odd because Tina acted as the male. Tina asked Vor who he really was. Vor explained that they were trolls, not humans, and then explained that the scar on their tailbone was from a tail-cutting operation that trolls undergo. The tail grows due to chromosomal changes, which also allows Tina to smell human emotions and attracts lightning to her. Vor also revealed that there is a small group of trolls in Finland and wanted to invite Tina to join them. It turns out humans are afraid of trolls, and Vor's parents were killed because they were victims of human experiments. Vor convinced Tina that her parents experienced something similar. Vor grew up in an orphanage and often moved because of being bullied. Tina also shared that she was helping the police with a child abuse case. Tina's curiosity was satisfied. They released their emotions while bathing in the lake. After Vor's explanation, Tina went to the nursing home to meet her father, full of anger. Tina asked who she really was because she felt lied to by her father all her life. Cornered, her father finally told her that Tina's parents had died. Tina was asked to leave by the nurse because she was causing a disturbance. Tina returned home full of anger, feeling deceived by her father for her entire life. When she arrived home, Roland became the target of Tina's anger until she finally expelled Roland from the house. With no more Roland in the house, only Tina and Vor remained. Tina entered the house and went to Vor's room, using her sense of smell to find out what Vor was hiding in the fridge. Suddenly, Vor arrived, and Tina was clearly surprised and asked why Vor had locked the fridge. Vor simply replied that it was his privacy. Then Tina told Vor that she had expelled Roland, and now it was just the two of them, with no more humans in the house. They celebrated by bathing together in the lake behind the house. Tina returned home first, still curious about what Vor was hiding in the fridge. Eventually, Tina dared to open it and found that Vor was hiding the baby he had given birth to in the fridge. Tina was clearly shocked and quickly put the baby back in the fridge as it was. The next day, Tina went to the police station, where she and Agneta were seen interrogating Patrick's wife. Finally, Patrick's wife admitted that Patrick only recorded and photographed and did not know who was behind the crime. Following the confession of Patrick's wife, the police took Patrick to be tried. Unexpectedly, a deer blocked their way, and someone unexpectedly pulled Patrick out of the car and killed him. Soon after, Tina, Agneta, and other police officers arrived at the scene of Patrick's murder. Tina used her sense of smell to track down Patrick's killer. Surprisingly, it was Vor who was the perpetrator. Vor confessed to being the mastermind behind a ring of child abusers. That's why Vor killed Patrick, fearing he would talk. It turns out Vor did it to harvest organs needed by troll children, or as revenge against humans who had bullied him since childhood. Humans were also considered to have killed Vor's parents, who were used for experiments. Not wanting Vor to be imprisoned, Tina let Vor go. The next day, as Tina was happily eating insects, she heard the siren of an ambulance heading to her neighbor's house. A tragic event had occurred. Their baby mysteriously lost both eyes. Believing this to be Vor's doing, Tina rushed home, but Vor was no longer there. leaving a message on the table asking Tina to meet him at the ferry. Accompanied by the police, Tina went to meet Vor on the ferry. Vor tried to persuade Tina to join his clan of trolls, but Tina refused, considering Vor to be cruel and vengeful. Eventually, the police captured Vor, but he managed to escape and jumped into the sea. The next day, Tina's father returned home, escorted by a nursing home attendant, to tell Tina about her biological parents and origins, revealing that her birth name was Riva. All this time, her father had pretended to be senile to hide the truth. The following day, Tina received a package from an unknown sender. Upon opening it, she found a baby sent by Vor with perfect eyes, unlike the previous baby Vor had hidden in the fridge, and the film ends. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make better videos. See you in the next video.